You've probably watched AI build entire websites in seconds, so why can't it do that on WordPress, the platform that runs over 40% of the web? I spent weeks on this, and I think I finally found a way around it. Let's first understand why this is happening and what's actually available today. Then we will look at the solution I've been building on my own with Claude. By the end, you'll watch it build a full page, section by section. In the early days, pages were built with custom fields and template files. Creating a nice professional website usually meant hiring a developer because there was a lot of code involved. Ironically, this is exactly the kind of work AI is great at today, handwriting PHP, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If AI had been around back then, it would have fit right in. Then, the block editor arrived in 2018, and in 2022, Full Site Editing launched, finally letting anyone build a simple website without writing code, within limits depending on the project. The problem? AI still struggles with Full Site Editing, and plugins like Elementor make it harder still. They run their own page builders instead of the native Gutenberg editor, so there's even more for the AI to misunderstand. So while AI has been getting better and better at building websites, on WordPress we have been stuck with two options: building themes that avoid full site editing entirely, or use AI that can only pick from a pool of pre-made patterns and fill them with content. There is no real design autonomy, because AI doesn't understand how the system works underneath. You can't just ask it to remove part of a section on your page. Every page builder developer knows this, and they are racing against the clock to open a path for AI inside the full site editing in WordPress. WordPress core itself is already heading there. Version 7.0 just shipped with a native AI client, but that AI client is just a socket to plug a model like Claude into your website. It doesn't build or edit a page on its own. For that, you still need an MCP, which is exactly what my solution uses. Believe me, I've tried this many times. I even have another video about my experience in using WP Vibe. I'll save you the long version. The only AI that could get this right was Claude, and only after I trained it with a skill document. But doing this was very expensive. Claude has to reason through the whole page non-linearly, holding the entire block structure in mind just to create a single block. And to change one line of text, the whole page had to be rebuilt and reproduced perfectly. The reason is simple: AI can hold all the full site editing context that sits behind the page builder while it writes the code. It's just too much at once. Page builders were created before AI got good at coding. They were made for us, humans, to change pages without touching code, wrapping everything in a nice UI with hidden code doing the work behind the scenes. And yes, you can use an off-the-shelf MCP to connect WordPress to your AI. It helps with some things, but it can't actually build a new page for you. At least none of the ones I tried could, and they all added a cost at the top of what I already paid for Claude. So what is my current solution? I use Spectra Blocks for most of my projects, so this is built with it in mind. And that choice matters. Spectra builds on native Gutenberg block format, not a separate page builder. The solution comes down to three parts: a JSON compiler plugin we install inside of WordPress, a connector or MCP we set up for our AI, and a skill document we give AI so it knows what to do. So let's see this in practice. This is a compilation of few tests I did. I've got Claude chat on the left and a blank WordPress page on the right. We set up the connector inside Claude, then we hand Claude our skill file. After it finishes reading, we can ask for our first section, a header and a hero banner. Not a premium design, but not bad. When we open the editor, every block is there and working, and I can tweak any of them if I need to. The plugin can even accept CSS animations on a HTML block. Let's add another section. Notice that I'm giving no direction to Claude, just asking it to create the next section. Those are all placeholder images, but nothing we can change later. It also adds nice hover animations to elements. My main goal was to keep the AI design autonomy, so I didn't give it any patterns it could use. It has to think about the tools it has available to create the sections. And to finish, a footer. As you can see, it is also responsive. Not perfect, but a good start. Going back to the editor, and those are all Spectra blocks I can edit. Now let's change something simple, and I can use this pick block button to select any block on the page and copy its information so it's easier to give instructions to the AI. Remember how I said one small change used it to mean rebuilding the whole page? Now it just edits this word. I also want to add 3 more boxes to the new project section. AI now only focuses on changing the blocks it needs to. It doesn't need to rebuild the whole page. You can even send Claude an image and ask it to recreate the layout. It doesn't always nail it, but it's a start. The costs are much lower because the AI is only sending a compact JSON file that the plugin compiles. The MCP currently gives Claude 11 custom tools, so it can focus on structure and design, while the plugin does the heavy lifting, turning that JSON into the exact code WordPress and Spectra expect. I believe this is the right path, but it's still early. This is a prototype and a work in progress, and for now it only works with Spectra blocks. So subscribe to follow along. I'll be posting more about this over the next weeks, and if you enjoyed this, a like and a comment really help the channel. Thanks for watching.